your photo card. Okay, your photo card is going to be in black and white. It won't be in colour. So if you were to talk about the colours of, for example, the clothes, what people are wearing, if you know black and if you know white and if you know grey, that's fine. That's probably safer, okay? Obviously, you can try and use your imagination there if you want, but I would stick to black, white or grey there because it's a little bit difficult to tell. But there are lots of other things you can say about that picture, or you should be able to say. So first of all, if you think of lawn mop, do you want to write that down? Okay, it might be an idea to make sure okay, I've just taken lawn mop there because when you get to the first question, this question is always the same. Was gibt es auf dem Foto? You always get that question. So if you use the letters, we've talked about this in class, okay, and go through all the letters there, you should find that you've got enough detail to answer that first question. Okay, so L stands for location, if you want to make a note of this. So it's taking place, I would say, in a park. Okay, or you could say in the countryside if you wanted to. Okay, the activity, A stands for activity. So what are they doing? They're jogging. You could link that together. They are jogging in the park. Okay, that would be okay. You could use that together if you wanted to. W for weather. So what's the weather like? If you look at the fact that some of them are wearing sunglasses, so you could say the weather's nice or the weather's sunny. That would be fine there for the weather. N stands for negative. So something which isn't going on there in the picture, I would say, for example, there, you could say there aren't any children in that photo. Okay, so you could say, es gibt keine Kinder. Okay, there aren't any children. The mood, M stands for mood. So what, how do the people seem to you? And you could say, you could talk about the fact that you've got some men, or you've got some boys, and you've got some girls, or some males and some females, and the girls are happy, okay? And you could say something like the boys are more serious, okay? Or they're unhappy, or they're finding it difficult. You might have to just use your imagination a little bit, and you're not going too far away from, it's your interpretation of the photo, really. Okay, and then give a general opinion. Okay, you can also talk O for opinion. You can try and get an opinion in what you say. P for position. What you can do there is talk about maybe what's on the left, what's on the right, but I wouldn't use that for this particular picture. I would say what's at the front and what's at the back. So I'd use the expressions, if I write here, nach vorne means at the front. Can you see that? Nach vorne gibt es zwei Mädchen. And then talking about the back, nach hinten gibt es 4 Jungen. Okay? So nach vorne gibt es 2 Mädchen, nach hinten gibt es 4 Jungen. It depends on the photo. You could use possibly links and rechts if it was a different type of photo. So what's on your left and what's on your right. You could talk about what's in the middle, and that would be in der Mitte. You could also say the fact that you've got trees or you've got woods in the background as well. So nach hinten gibt es Bäume, Bäume for trees. And I think if you take each letter there, you should have enough detail to answer that question. But what I found in a Year 10 exam were for your photo card, you didn't really answer these photos in enough detail. So we need to make sure for each question here, you've got enough detail. So you should have plenty of detail for that first question. Sorry, I'm pointing to it and it's not coming up. The second question, you always get 3, which you can prepare after you've prepared your role play. The second question, ist es wichtig, fit zu bleiben? So, is it important to be fit? Warum oder warum nicht? Again, if you think about what you've learnt for conversation, okay, you've just done this topic, and if you've learnt your answers off by heart, you should know exactly what you're going to say there. And the third question, hast du gestern gesund gegessen? Did you eat healthily yesterday? Okay, there is normally one of those questions which is going to ask for a different tense. So while I'm preparing, I would write past. You have to answer in the past tense. Okay, past tense there. That's where you're going to get your opinion. Okay, there's going to be one question where you're going to need an opinion. And then you get 2 questions. I have to ask you 2 more questions which you don't see. Okay? So again, you have to try and think about what else I could ask you, and it will be to do with this topic of fitness. And again, if you've prepared that topic thoroughly for conversation, you should know the kind of question I'm going to ask you. So the other question is, warum rauchen so viele Jugendliche? That's a U, by the way. Warum rauchen? R-A-U-C-H. So why do so many young people smoke? Okay, so that is the 4th question which you're going to be asked. And then the last question, if you think about it, we need something on the future. So you've got past tense there. You know that there's a past tense coming up. So the question now is going to be in the future. So you need to try and think about what else I could ask you to do with the future, to do with fitness. And your question is, was wirst du in der Zukunft? Remember, that phrase is really important. It came up in the role play as well. In the future, was wirst du in der Zukunft für deine Fitness machen? Okay, so obviously you don't see those questions, but in your preparation time, if you can try and work out what kind of things I might ask you as the last 2 questions. Okay, so 5 questions altogether. The first one is always, was gibt es auf dem Foto? There's going to be another question where you need to get an opinion, which is the second one there. The third question is in the past tense. The 4th question is going to be opinions as well, your opinions on why do young people smoke. And the last question is the future. It could be that you have the future and the past the other way around. It could be that you see the question in the future tense and not the question in the past tense. And then altogether, that is marked. You have the same amount of marks for all of that as you have for the role play. 15 marks altogether. There are 10 marks for communication, and there are 5 marks for use of language. So it's exactly the same as the role play. Now, because that's used, if you get that for your photo card, it means that you won't get that as one of the conversation topics in the third part of your speaking exam. Okay? Your conversation in the last part of your speaking exam will be about other topics. It won't be about free time. But we're going to be talking about that in the lessons anyway, because there is an element of choice here where we can talk about what topic you would definitely like to go in your conversation. And that will have a bearing on what you get on your photo card. But we'll be talking about that in the lesson later on. Okay, so after your photo card, then you have general conversation, and there are 30 marks for general conversation. Okay, so the general conversation is the most important part of your speaking exam. So it's 15 marks for role play, 15 marks for photo card. I haven't given you a sheet with conversation on because, you know, that's sort of things which we've prepared in class anyway. So using the questions you've got in your conversation book, okay, I've got to cover 2 themes there in conversation, and that will be 30 marks. So that is all your speaking exam: a role play, photo card, and conversation. So I want now to have a look at a little bit of reading, okay, in your reading exam. Okay, in the second half of your reading exam at higher level, you'll have to be able to understand things in German, okay, find the relevant bits, understand questions in German. This is instructions in English, so this would be actually the first part of your reading exam, but I've chosen this because it's got question words in, and question words you must know, okay, for the second half of your reading exam. Okay, you're going to be seeing question words a lot. You're also going to be seeing it in your speaking exam. So really, if you understand these question words, you should be able to do this as one of the reading questions. So we have to match up what we've got at the top with the questions here. So the first question, wie oft, means how often. Okay, so I think you need to, as you're working through, highlight wie oft, how often. So you go to the text now and you look for an expression of time. One there straight away, selten, which means seldom. So the answer there is E. Okay? 2B, wo, it starts off with wo, so where, wo means where, so you're looking for a place. Okay? Wagen means in the car. So the answer there, only in the car, on the way to school. Where do you listen to the radio? So the answer there is A. Okay. C, was means what. What do you do with your mobile phone? So we're looking for an activity. We've got, if you look at B, we've got reference to mobile phones here, but you need to be careful because you need to make sure that whatever you choose is going to answer that question. So what do you do with your mobile phone? That says the best mobile phones, unfortunately, are so expensive. That is not answering the question. Okay? So if you look at C, ich lade viel Musik herunter, I download music. That would fit in. So that's going to be your answer for C. So the answer is C. And then for D, was für Bücher liest du gern? Was für, was followed by für means what kind of. So what kind of books do you like reading? Okay, there's mention of a library there, but if you read that carefully, that's not going to fit in because it says tomorrow I will go to the library. That is not answering the question. So the only one that would fit in there is F. It starts off with the word keine, which means no. No books, none at all. Ich sehe lieber fern, I'd rather watch television. So that would fit in. What kind of books do you like? I don't like any at all. Okay, I would rather watch telly. So the answer there is F. Okay, so 4 quite easy marks there, I think, which you should get. Okay. The next question. Okay, again, this is just in English, and this is a kind of question you will get where you have to write. You have to use the names of people. So you're writing A for Anya or B for Benno. Okay, so all of these boxes below, you're either writing A or B. Okay, according to who it applies to. And we're doing school at the moment. This is quite an easy question because all you're doing there, who does not like gymnastics, you're looking for gymnastics here. Okay, remember gymnastics is the word turnen. So your answer there is going to be B, Benno. Okay, so you'd write B in the box. B, who enjoys art. So art is Kunst, so we're looking for Kunst. There we are. So D for Doris. Okay, history. Okay, the word for history is Geschichte. Yeah, sorry, we've got it there. Yeah, okay. And then D, science. Who does not like science? You're looking for Naturwissenschaften. Okay, so I'm just linking up. I'm not even bothering to read a lot here. But then the last question is a little bit different. Who has changed their mind about a subject? Which is probably the most difficult question there. Okay, if you look at Sem hier in der Grundschule habe ich Mathe einfach gefunden, aber jetzt ist es schwierig. So in primary school, I found maths easy, but now, jetzt, Grundschule in primary school, now it's difficult, schwierig, so answer there C. Sorry, it's A, B or C here, so you'd answer C there, okay? So C for that person. Okay, so that should be quite a straightforward question as well, but we're using the names of people. Right. Okay, this I've chosen because either type of question you would get is where you have to write true, false, or a question mark for not in the text, but it could be that if this is in the second part of your reading paper, it could be that you have to answer R for richtig, okay? F is still falsch, okay? Or it could be not in the text, it might ask you to write N for nicht, T in text. So make sure you read those instructions very carefully. Okay, so is it in the first part of your reading paper, in which case you're going to use the English? Okay, if it's in the second part of your paper, that's the German part, it could be R, F and N, T. So be careful with that. Okay, so I'll just go through this quickly. 5A, you can borrow a variety of media from the town library. If you read the first paragraph there, a variety of media, Okay, so we're looking for books and something else. And you can see there you've got CDs, you've got DVDs as well. So the answer there would be true. Okay. The second statement, Claudia's daughter used the library to find information for a school project. That information is in the second paragraph. Wir haben in der Bibliothek viel Material gefunden. So we have found lots of material in the library. Okay, so that there would be the proof for B, so that would be true as well. Okay, the third statement, Claudia has 2 sons and a daughter. If you look through the text, I know you haven't got too much time at the moment, but the only information you've got is that here, drei Kinder. Okay, we're not told, okay, about sons. It could be that she has 2 daughters, okay, and 1 son. So the information there isn't in the text, so you need to answer there a question mark for this particular question. Okay, and then if you can look at the next page, please.